What is up, you guys? It's your girl Melly Mel. And I'm back again with another video. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. It's actually going to be a TV show review because I honestly have been wanting to get into the TV review sector of YouTube for a while now. So I figured I would just start now since they have a new season of The Real Housewives of Potomac. I love the franchise, The Real Housewives, especially Potomac, because the girls on there are lit for some little old ladies from Baltimore. So I thought I would go ahead and give my review of the first episode since it just came out. I know I'm a few days behind, but I decided that since I'm going to be watching it, I might as well go ahead and give my viewers some content to watch too. So I'll be reacting to the first episode pretty much scene by scene because I'll be watching it here and then I'll pretty much just break the scene down for y'all and let y'all know how I'm feeling about it. I feel like that'll be the easier way for me instead of watching the whole episode and then taking notes. So this will be the TV show review for The Real Housewives of Potomac season 6. Episode 1, and that is titled The Nude Interlude. And so, like I always do when I first watch an episode, I read the little description that they provide just to know what the heck I'm looking out for. So I do want to include that inside the reviews that I do. So it says, on the season premiere, after a mysterious and salacious invitation, the ladies gather and become acquainted with a new friend, and a year's worth of tension boils over into a war of words between longtime frenemies Giselle and Karen. Meanwhile, Ashley has another bun in the oven, Candace has a new home of her own, and Karen is set to walk down the aisle again with Ray. Okay, so they give you chunks of what's going to happen, what to expect. So let's see what we got, you guys. Here we go. Okay, so the first scene is some of the girls sitting down for the behind the scenes type interview when they do the confessional. I just want to say I love Wendy Osefo's look. Like, she looks bomb.com. Like, she looks really good. Some of the other ladies, their outfits are a little weird, and I'm talking about Giselle and her little white ensemble. It's kind of giving fluffy marshmallow. Not really a fan. Not sure that was the right look for you, sis. But okay, the women are sitting down and pretty much going over excitement about starting the new season 6 after a pandemic and all that. They're able to shoot again, so they're all sitting down getting ready for their confessionals, and the producer asked them if you could describe last year, which is season 5, in one word, what would it be? And someone says toxic, which it definitely was. They stretched out last season over the fight between Candace and Monique. They literally stretched that one fight between those two women, stretched it out over the entire season 5, which was kind of numbing because it was like, okay, we get it. They got into an altercation. But I felt like last season, some of the ladies kind of took it way too far, like Giselle. And it's funny because she's the one who answered the question, how would you describe last year? And she's the one who actually said toxic. And it's like, Giselle, you're one of the most toxic ones on the show, boo. Like, yeah, maybe that's a good word to describe you, but I don't know. The last season was kind of over dramatized over this one little fight between Monique and them, so they're kind of just doing a flashback on what happened last season. Okay, so after the flashback scene, we get Wendy Osefo saying that last year, season 5 taught her never to trust anybody, then that somebody's always plotting behind your back, which is true because even for these group of old ladies, they are always causing drama and talking crap behind each other's backs. It's so weird. Then we get a flash forward until 6 months into the future, and we see Giselle and Karen getting into it. Like, this is stuff to look forward to in this season 6. Giselle and Karen getting into it. We see Candace saying some pretty foul shit to Ashley, which it says, she's pregnant and she calls her wide-backed and shit. It was like, wow, girl. Candace in that mouth, she still hasn't fucking learned, obviously. And it even looks like Giselle and Robin get into a little spat, which is kind of interesting since they're always super close. They're the green eye bandits or whatever. So it's interesting to see that they got a little tension going on between their little friendship as well. Since they're always getting into everybody else's friendship, it's kind of already, it feels like karma for them to kind of get into it because they're always into everybody else's business and everybody else's friendship. It's bound to happen that they would actually experience a little bit of that tension and drama between them two as well. So that's cool to see. Well, it's not cool to see, but it's interesting to see that they also are going through some toxic stuff too. It's not just everybody else. It even looks like Candace kind of gets into like a food fight with the new person on the show. I'm sorry, I don't know who the new lady is just yet, but they're sitting there throwing food at each other, looking real childish, but it's Candace, so what can you expect? She's always been a little childish one of the group. But before we break away to the opening credits of the show, we get Wendy Osefo still saying, you know, don't trust these ladies, don't listen to what they say, just watch what they do. So it's pretty interesting. She's pretty much sounding like she's going to be on the outs with a lot of people, or she's seen a lot of people fall out this season, which is kind of interesting because she's only been new since last season. She's still fairly new in the Potomac franchise. So it's already interesting that she's already telling people like, hey, you know, watch out. These girls aren't always what they say they are. So of course, in true Real Housewife fashion, all the girls have a new tagline to go along with, you know, the intro of the show. So far, Giselle's is the secret to this pretty face is staying in the shade, and it's like, girl, tired. New girl Mia's tagline is, if you wanna pop off, I'll get you adjusted. Which is like, what? Like, what does that even mean? But okay, girl. She seems spicy. Like I said, they showed a scene of her already getting into a food fight with Candace, so she might be about that life. Like she's saying, if you pop off, I mean, I guess she gonna handle you either way. So she might be a little firecracker that we might need to watch out for. Robin's tagline is, I may keep you waiting, but trust me, I'm worth it. And it's like, Robin, I guess kind of throwing shade at herself because she's known to be the perpetually late one of the group. She's always late, always tired. Plus, her and her situation with Juan, if they're still waiting to get married. I'm not even sure if they even got married yet. We probably are still waiting on that. So, like usual, I don't know. Robin is always just so late and so tired, like in more than just time-wise. So, I don't know. That's kind of befitting for her. I don't know if she's worth the wait, but I like that they threw shade at her lateness altogether because, yeah. Ashley's tagline is, the only thing messier than two boys is me, which is pretty much spot on because messy Ashley is, okay? Ashley is the messiest girl on this show. Like, she is so irritating with how she will flip-flop between this person and that person, and how she loves to tell people what this one done said about her and this one done did and this one done. She's been messy, like it was exposed in season 5, how she was kind of, you know, finna be a character witness or something like that for Monique in her case against Candace and stuff like that. It's just like, Ashley, you are messy. You are super, super messy. So this tagline, yeah, very befitting. You and your husband messy as hell. So, yeah, good on you. Candace's tagline is, my blessings are many, but my patience is none. I don't know how to feel about that tagline. I used to really like Candace, but I think in season 4 and season 5, she kind of just lost me just with her attitude and just like, I don't know, this grand air about herself. Like, it's like, girl, I don't know. She kind of lost me. I used to have real love for Candace, but she kind of lost me on that. So I don't know. We're gonna see what's going on with her and these blessings of hers. But like we just seen in the little preview of what's to come, she's getting in altercations with a few people, so I guess that patience is on 0 now. Wendy's tagline is, this professor doesn't just grade on a curve, she sets the curve, which I love. I'm sorry, I love Wendy. I don't care. She got a lot of backlash last season because she brought up her degrees and, you know, her accomplishments so much, but it's like, y'all need to understand that as a dark-skinned black woman, she needs to let y'all know that she's not just some random female off the street. She's an accomplished woman. That's nothing wrong with bragging about stuff that she has sweated and blooded and, you know, cried through and all of that to get. So, I don't care. She should change her name to Wendy Osefo 4 Degrees Now What Ho. Like, because I love it. I'm sorry. I stan Wendy. So far, I ain't watched the season yet, but since last season when she first got on, I actually really liked Wendy. She's probably my favorite of the show so far. So, okay, Miss Professor. Let's go, Professor Osefo. And finally, we have Karen's tagline, which is, the grand dame can never be duplicated, imitated, or intimidated. And it's like, okay, Karen, you still going on with this grand dame. That shit gets irritating fast. Like, okay, you really still think you're the grandma of freaking Potomac. We get it, you are, but Okay, and no shade, because I actually really like Karen. Karen might be my second favorite of the show because she's a really shady lady, but she's also a really classy older woman. So I can always respect a woman about her class and her dignity and all this and that. She's about her marriage. We all know she loves her some Ray. So I actually really do like Karen, but the Grand Dame thing, it's kind of annoying, kind of fast, but we'll see if she calms that down a little bit, because she's not acting too grand damely in these previews so far. So we start the season off with Wendy Osefo walking in with this big fur coat or whatever, and it seems like she's doing a little silhouette challenge, you know, when it turns to the red background and you see the silhouette of the person kind of dancing and moving sexy. Yes, saying that. And then she narrates a party invitation, her nude interlude, which she is requiring all of her guests to wear shades of nude, which I think is really cute. That's a really cute idea. And the purpose of this nude interlude party is to redefine what it means to look and feel sexy. I'm guessing after the quarantine and stuff, she wants to get together with her friends and feel sexy and young since being all cramped up in the house and stuff. And she says she has special guests for her party guests. So the next few scenes we kind of get are some of the girls. We get a glimpse of Giselle in her west wing of her house, FaceTiming with her daughter. They're asking her about lunch. She's like, when are y'all gonna get to a point in y'all life where y'all gonna make your own lunch? Sounded like a real old mama. But it was cute. She's sitting at a little vanity, so it looked like she got her house done, maybe at least done enough to have a nice little vanity room. Then we go to Karen being a little plant mom, watering her plants. And then we go to Robin and Juan standing in front of their new home. Well, it's her home that's still look like it's being made. It's still being built. And she asks Juan, are you excited? And he just dryly goes, yep. It was so like, okay, Juan, thanks for that much of emotion. We appreciate that. And now we see that Candace has her old home has sold. She has a new home. I'm excited to see Candace in a new home because that's something that the girls always rag on her about ever since, you know, they found out that she lived in her mom's house. But, you know, it was like her whole freaking house outside, but it was her mom's house still technically, and they always get on her about being in her mom's place and all this craziness. So now she got her own house, and it's looking like it's a 6-bedroom 7-bath $1 million house. So it looks like honey has upgraded. So I wonder if the girls are still gonna have that same energy for her this season, because she's in her own stuff now with her husband. I cannot stand that. I just hate when people be getting so petty. Like, who cares, like, if she's in a place that her mom like helps her pay rent for, or, you know, that it was her mom's house and she let her have it. Like, that's her mama. Why does that matter? Like, girl, it's a house. She's maintaining it. She's doing what she needs to do. Stay up out her business. It's exciting to see that she got her own new super fancy house. So I'm excited to see how she talks about it and how she describes it, because it looks really good from the little views that we get to see real quick. So next we get a scene of Ashley, and she's looking preggers, very much pregnant in the belly. She's playing with Dean, who's about 18 months now. She's helped changing his diapers, and then her husband comes home, Michael. He comes home and the little baby don't pay him no mind. He worried about his mama, and and it's kind of cute. I mean, I don't really like Ashley or her husband, but it's cute, their little family dynamic, because, you know, as we've seen throughout the seasons, Ashley really did want to have a baby. So it's nice to see that she's, you know, she's got her man still, she's got her baby, she's about to have another baby. So we gonna see how the rest of that pans out, but that's a cute little moment right there. So still at Ashley's house, we get her and her husband talking, and she reveals that she's only about 10 days away from giving birth, because I'm saying she's looking hella preggers. So she reveals that she's only 10 days away from giving birth, and she talks about how she feels having a second child and not having a father herself. And they flash back to I forgot what season it was, but Ashley attempted to make contact with her real biological father, and he pretty much slammed the door in her face, which was such a heartbreaking episode. Anybody who doesn't have a dad or try to facilitate a real relationship with their father and got rejected knows how devastating that scene was. Me personally, I know how devastating that scene was, so it's kind of just like, aw, it sucks. But it's coming around that she's finna have another baby boy, so that's good at least. Ashley also reveals that baby Dean tends to like Michael, her husband, better, which is weird because the baby was like literally pushing him away from him. So it's like, okay, you saying that, but is he? And Ashley is talking about like how her and the baby be vying for Michael's attention when he gets home from work. So it's hard for her to kind of like get some time in with her man. She finally sits down with him on the couch and, you know, is a little excited to just have a little bit of time with him. And she's saying, you know, she's still trying to keep it kind of spicy and sexy for him, being 9 months pregnant and all that. So it was a cute little moment. So Ashley also reveals that her and Michael have not had sex since she was about 5 months pregnant. So about 4 months ago, they haven't been having sex, and she was worried about, you know, if Michael would have another indiscretion. As we all watched last season, Michael kind of got caught up in some hotel being drunk with some strippers or something like that. So she was having those kind of thoughts about it, and she's, you know, asking him to have better communication, or how are you feeling? How are you feeling about how we're handling things nowadays versus when I was pregnant with Dean? And I don't know, Michael's kind of answer was kind of just dry. He's like, yeah, I'm in a better place now, so it's all good. But I don't know, it just seems really weird. Like the energy between them two right now seems kind of weird. So hopefully he's being honest, because he has done enough to embarrass this girl and her in their relationship. Let's hope he doesn't embarrass his whole family now with this. I would hope that Michael would not put his, not only just his reputation, his wife's reputation, but now the little boy, their son, plus the son that is not even here yet. Let's hope he's not dipping back into some old habits, but Ashley seems pretty content with his answer, so I guess we'll just have to see when the rest of this season plays out. So next scene, we jump over to Candace's house, and she has a visitor, which is Giselle's messy ass showing up, and we discover that Candace's husband, Chris, is able to have his kids over more, because we know Chris has had kids from previous relationships, but him and Candace have not had kids yet. They still, you know, they just got married not too long ago, so they're still not having kids yet that I know of. But yeah, Chris's daughter and his son are going to a virtual school at Chris's new house. They have a great big new house now, so I'm guessing that's now why, you know, he's able to keep his kids over for that long. So she keeps calling them her bonus kids, which I mean, I guess it sounds better than step kids, but I don't know, the word bonus is kind of throwing me off a bit. Like, your bonus kids, I mean, they're your husband's children. Like, I don't know, I guess the wording is just weird to me, bonus, but whatever. They're doing homeschooling at Candace's and Chris's house now, and they're doing a flashback of all the times the girls done said something about Candace staying at her mama's place, which is so tired of a dig. But of course they have to show that because Giselle's like, oh, I'm so excited that she's got her own and all that, blah blah blah. So Candace is giving Giselle a tour of her new home. She's talking about decorations and all this other stuff. Then they get to Dorothy's room, Dorothy's diamond room, a jubilee or whatever the hell it was called. She has a cutout of herself by the bed, and I just don't get it. Like, Candace said her mom was a psychologist or whatever, but she seems like the most narcissist lady. Like, Candace's mom needs therapy of her own because something is just not right with her. Like, something's just not right with Candace's mom, especially the way she be treating Candace and the way Candace described, you know, how she's been treated and talked to by her mama. You can definitely tell that her mom has issues of her own. And then with this cutout, it's just giving really, really weird. Like, she still wants to super be into Candace's life, like, way too much. Like, they have no boundaries with each other. That's just weird to me. I'm sorry. Like, I love my mama, but I am not finna be allowing her to have no life-size cutout of her in no guest room of mine. I'm sorry, no. Maybe if she passed away, we could do something like that just to keep her spirit alive, but she's still walking this earth and all that, and you got a life-size cutout of her just in your house, in a room, like, just waiting there. Like, I don't know, I don't have kids. I don't know if I would want that in my child's house, but I don't know, that just seems a little bit too much for me. I mean, I got my husband here, his kids. They do not need to be, you know, going into a room and seeing a whole life-size cutout of my mama. Like, that's just my opinion. Very weird. I didn't like that. It's very weird. It's giving me very much I'm still in there even when I'm not there, and that's weird. Sorry. So Candace and Giselle sit down after the tour of her home. They sit down and they get to chatting. Chris comes in and makes the girls a quick little fruit snack, which looks really nice with their little mimosas or whatever. So they're just getting the lowdown on each other right now. Candace says she's still at Howard University working on her master's, so I'm always for a black woman getting her education, so that's good. She said her husband Chris is still doing his cooking classes and still teaching the cooking stuff and doing online classes and stuff like that, and also he's picked up golf which is cool, but I never seen him as like a golfer, but whatevs. I guess that's what rich people do. Then Giselle reveals that her and Jamal are not really doing well right now. Giselle expresses that, because of the pandemic, she's not able to see him like that. Pastor Jamal is still a pastor in Atlanta and traveling and doing all of that, and she's still stuck in Potomac, so I'm guessing she's pretty lonely. She's saying she wished that she could be with somebody who's 8 minutes down the road instead of somebody 8 states away, which is pretty harsh. Being without somebody that you really love is hard, especially this pandemic hit a lot of us hard, not being able to reach out to our loved ones and see our loved ones on a consistent basis. So she's pretty much expressing that. Candace is like, but you guys know each other so much and all that, and she's just like, it's still a strain. And then Candace goes in to say, she wonders if the public embarrassment of Jamal's possible indiscretions last year, had anything to do with the way Giselle is feeling about the relationship. We all know that he had a ton of rumors last year about him having other babies and him talking to other women, sleeping with other women, while he was supposedly in a relationship with Giselle, trying to make it work with her. So she's wondering if that has anything to do with the way that Giselle is feeling. But Giselle is such a hard ass. She never really lets her true feelings, I feel like, come out. But that's got to be a reason why she's not, trying to mess with him so heavy anymore. Because, like even Candace said, that is a hard thing to take. Like, watching your whole relationship pretty much be scrutinized online and on social media. So I'm pretty sure that has something to do with it. But, Giselle ain't gonna let that show. And so going into talking about the indiscretions, they show a flashback to the reunion where Karen was specifically asking Giselle, like, is it true that, Jamal had these kids while he was supposedly dating you? So then they get to the topic of Karen, which neither Candace or Giselle are really feeling at this time. Giselle, because Karen brought up all of Jamal's the indiscretion, and Candace isn't feeling Karen because, as we saw last season, Karen kind of played the fence when it came down to being on Candace's side or Monique's side about the whole physical altercation. Karen let it be known from the jump, though, that she did not want to pick sides. She wanted to stay neutral because she was friends with both Monique and Candace. But of course, crybaby Candace didn't like that answer, so she's been having a little beef with Karen too because she didn't pick her side. So next scene, we shoot over to Karen's house, and Karen is doing some spring cleaning around her mansion. She's talking to her husband Ray, and she's telling him that she's looking for her old wedding dress so she can cut out a piece of her old wedding dress and give to their daughter, so whenever their daughter gets married, she can sew in a patch of her mother's wedding dress onto her wedding dress. And I thought that was so cute. I'm sorry, that was such a cute idea. I was like, oh, that's such a nice sentiment. Like, who wouldn't want to have a piece of their mom's wedding day on them, with them on their wedding day? I thought that was a really nice idea and really beautiful. So we get them talking about their 25th wedding anniversary, and the name that they called it, or that Raven, Karen's daughter, came up with, is called So Nice. Had to do it twice, which I think is adorable. Sorry, this little crybaby. Which I thought was an adorable name for a wedding renewal, like a vow ceremony. So Ray is asking her, like, babe, are you gonna be trying to make this like one of your over-the-top events? He's kind of expressing like, because of the pandemic and stuff, I think we should kind of keep it small, kind of keep it cute, because the grand dame, likes to be over the top and make everything into a whole show, an event type situation. He's like, I kind of want to keep it real, like, small and low key. And she's like, no, yeah, babe, we got this. I'm only gonna probably invite a few of my girlfriends, you know, it's not gonna be too many people, you know. And she's talking about how, you know, she's not really friends with that many people in the group anyway. And then we flash back over to Giselle and Candace talking about, you know, Karen once again, how they're both kind of not feeling her, and how they feel like Karen's responses to their behaviors was pretty unwarranted. And they're saying how they pretty much left her alone, but Karen pretty much antagonized the situation, which is not true. I don't think it's not true at all, because if you even watched the last season, you know that Giselle shade everybody. She shades everyone, but she kept her foot on freaking Karen and Ray's marriage. So, you know, of course Karen's gonna have a response back to someone nitpicking at her marriage when it's so many rumors about the person that you're with. Like, you really shouldn't be talking crap. I think it's just BS. Giselle just loves to play the victim, even though Giselle is a really mean girl. Like, she's a really mean girl, and she's an instigating female. So Giselle says that, you know, she doesn't have a friendship with Karen to salvage anymore. They've been friends for over 10 years, and, you know, she's watched her kids grow up and all that, but she just doesn't feel it in her heart for her anymore like that. So I guess she's saying she's pretty much done with Karen. But Candace and Giselle are just sitting here saying, you know, there's a lot to be said about Karen. And Giselle is sitting here saying, you know, I'm gonna say whatever I want. I'm gonna tell the truth about her and say whatever I want about her, because she dragged my family through the mud, apparently spreading lies about, you know, Jamal, her man, and all that stuff, and about her family.